now be recorded.
Okay, we'll start with some quick introductions. My name is Heidi Nunez. I am the director of the Office of Career Development, and we've other members of the Career Development team today. If you can introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, I'm Barbara Fouts. I am one of the assistant directors and I oversee early career development and the internship program.
Hi, my name is Margaret Stacy Duffy. I am the other assistant director and I oversee employer engagement.
Hi, I'm Catherine Malinowski. I am one of your career peer advisors at North Central. Normally I'll staff the drop-in center and help out with anything that is student related, such as resume reviews or finding internships.
Great. So today's chat, we're going to focus on career outcomes and when deciding on a major and just early career exploration, going through some common questions that we get from students who are in this position. But we'll kick it off with Barb, who will set the stage for us.
Right. Well, we just want to welcome everybody. We wish that we could be meeting you in person, but we're hoping that there's going to come a time when we'll all be able to get together and we'll be able to sort of meet with you. But, you know, we're really excited to welcome you to North Central and to really sort of see what you're going to accomplish during your time with us. So just a little bit about career development. So we're really here to sort of partner with you on your career success, whatever your next step is. And how we do that is through helping you explore your options, looking for different opportunities, experience, and really helping you reach your professional goals. And our staff really can sort of guide you through individual appointments and then through what we call 24/7 resources that are available to you to really help you explore the world of work and really the majors and careers. So what I want you to remember is there's something for everyone in the Office of Career Development that will help you maximize your time here at North Central. So some of you might already know, you have your plan in place, you know what the end looks like, but then there are others who are exploring and you haven't decided on a major. And wherever you're at, it's really important to know that that's okay. North Central is a place where it's okay not to know. It's okay if you haven't decided on a major yet. This is a place where you can explore, and there's a lot of people here who are going to help support that exploration, but really that's the role of career development. We will help you with that exploration process through individual appointments, through our 24/7. But we're going to explore some of those resources during our time together. But the biggest thing to remember is that students who are exploring, give yourself some time to explore and allow yourself the opportunity to explore new things and decide on a major. But remember, we're in your corner.
So Barb, I've heard you often talk about, the percentage of students who, do have majors. How common is it to still be exploring? Can you share that?
Sure. Little fun fact, and once you get to know me, you know I'm full of fun facts, but really about 65% of students are exploring during their college career. So it's really, really common. So students often feel like if they don't have a major or if they don't have a clear plan in mind, that they're alone, and you are not. You are in very good company.
Great. Margaret, maybe you can kick us off with a common question that we've gotten in the past around career exploration or deciding on a major.
You bet. So one common question I know students are wondering is, does my major determine my career?
Yeah,
What
does
do you think,
anybody?
Barb?
Well, we can both answer this together at the same time, but the answer is actually no, it doesn't. So it's really common for students to think that their major sort of equals their career, when really it's major plus experience is going to lead to opportunities. And so what that means is that one major can lead to really multiple career paths. There isn't just one way to get to a career. And so with planning and experience builders such as internships, part-time jobs, research, service learning, study abroad, sort of you name, all those different types of experiences are really going to help you sort of open up multiple doors for you. So although there are majors like engineering and education and nursing that have a very clearly defined, end path, that's not true for most majors. Many majors are designed, they really help you develop transferable skills, or what we call career readiness skills, career competencies, such as critical thinking, problem solving, communication, teamwork. And employers really value these skills, and they're looking for the out-of-class experiences that you've had. So, and we actually sort of know that, after about 10 years, many people are working in careers that may not be directly related to their major. Like an example would be like a history or an English major who is working in a tech company or maybe working in healthcare. So your major doesn't really determine your career, which is actually very freeing for a lot of people. So
Yeah, just
Heidi, would you add anything?
the
Yeah.
only thing that I would add is with regards to skills, absolutely spot on. Employers are definitely looking to hire for skills, especially in this kind of market where there's, a lot of competition for roles. Are definitely looking for skills, and you'll hear us talk about those skills as career competencies. You'll hear us talking about it as career readiness.
Right.
And if you want to get more familiar with what those career competencies are and what we're talking about when we say career readiness, we have the full list of the 8 career competencies on CardinalNet. So you can go to the North Central College CardinalNet, look for career development. You'll find a tab called Get Career Ready. There you're going to see the definitions, the full definitions of all 8 career competencies, which the way that we talk about it is these are the top skills that all employers value, regardless of industry, across all functions. These are common skills that are going to be critical for you to develop during your time at North Central College. So go to Career Development CardinalNet page, look for the Get Career Ready tab, find those, the definitions of the career competencies, so that you can see what you're trying to build while you're here.
All right, so I have another question for you all. If we have a student that's exploring some majors, how might they find out what they could do with those majors after they graduate?
Yeah, I can kick this one off, and then Barb, if you have something
Sure.
to add. I want to point students to some of the tools that we have available for you. Again, since I started talking about CardinalNet, I'm going to start off there. So once again, if you go to the Career Development CardinalNet page, on our main page there, you're going to see a couple of tools that are going to be helpful for you. Number one, of course, anytime you talk to me, you're going to hear me talk about Handshake. Handshake is the number one tool. Barb knows I'm right. She knows it's Handshake, Handshake, Handshake for me. But that's, for me, I feel like it's for good reason. Handshake is the number one resource for you, the number one connection to everything that is career development related at North Central College. This is where you're going to not just get connected with employers and apply for jobs. So it's much more than just a job board. This is where you can begin to also explore careers. So you can go in, complete your profile. You're going to start to get recommendations and suggestions for things that you should think about based on your interests, based on your majors, based on what other students who have similar profiles to you, on what they're exploring and what they've been interested in. So that's going to be a good way for you to begin to discover and explore some items. There's also a section in Handshake for you to discover careers. So if you're curious about particular titles, what does a financial analyst do? What even is a consultant? You can begin to explore some of those titles in different industries and see what they do, what are some of the qualifications, what kind of jobs are posted like that in Handshake now, and things like that. So that's one great way to get started. I also want to recommend, once you go to the CardinalNet page, that you explore a tool that's towards the bottom of our main page. It's called What Can I Do with This Major? This is going to be a really nice place for you to begin to see if you feel like you're pursuing a major because that's your interest and that's your passion. We often get the question, I love this major, but I'm not really sure what I can do with it. What kind of company would I be looking at? What kind of role would I be doing if I get this kind of degree? What can I do with this major is going to break it down for you by major, and it'll give you different industries, different company types, and different roles and titles that you can expect or you can look into. That's going to be the beginning of your research. So that's going to be where you start, and you'll definitely grow it from there. Of course, you can meet with us to begin to talk through what your interests are, what your potential outcomes are. What are you debating between majors and things like that? So beyond your advisors and your faculty members, you can always come and talk to us, make an individual appointment with us through Handshake so we can talk through some of your potential outcomes. What do you think, Barb? Anything to add?
I think that's great. And I think that sort of building on that in how we can also help students once they're completing that research is sort of the next step is helping you learn how to maybe complete an information interview or possibly a job shadowing opportunity with an alum or someone that you may know, because it can be really hard to make a decision about a career if you haven't really seen it. And we have found that the North Central Alumni Network is very welcoming and warm to students, and it can be really helpful to complete an information interview, but can be a little bit intimidating if you don't know sort of how to start. So we can sort of walk you through that process. And then I would just sort of also say that what I really like about what can I do with this major is that it's also broken down so that it helps you understand if you're going to pursue this particular path, some of the things activities or experiences you might want to get involved with to make you a really strong candidate. So we really love this resource and would encourage you to use it.
What else you got, Margaret?
So I know a lot of students think career development, oh, that's probably the office that I'll go to later when I'm thinking about a job my junior and senior year. So why might a new student kind of beginning their experience at North Central College want to connect with us?
I'm going to
the
see
fact
if
that we're awesome,
I was going to say, I don't want to put you on the spot, Catherine, but I think that from a student perspective, you might have something good to add for your colleagues, for your incoming students and students who are exploring about what is the benefit of connecting with career development, especially if you're so new to campus and potentially, you're still exploring. What are your thoughts as a career peer advisor and North Central student?
So I am actually a transfer student to North Central, and I got involved with career development as soon as I started here. But I also got involved with the career development department at my previous school. And I found that it was very helpful in aiding in that first step where I think I want to do this major, but I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I'm not sure what this job is like. What are the pros? What are the cons? Who can I ask about this? So it was very helpful in determining kind of where to get started. And once I figured out what I did want to do, I found it extremely helpful to have my resume ready, even if it's just for part-time work. I found that very helpful to a way is getting connected more with my new campus as a transfer student, but also new students as well. And rather than waiting till my junior, senior year to worry about, I don't have a resume to put out. Being able to have that ready and feel more confident going to career fairs where I'm thinking, okay, what are my next steps after North Central? So it was helpful to have that ready for that. And overall just like getting to know, kind of like Heidi mentioned with the, what can I do with this major, and as well as like being ready for those next steps come junior, senior year.
Yeah, thanks for that, Catherine. I'll definitely add two things from the career development perspective, and Barb, you might have some more. But one, for us, it's helpful to get to know you, particularly as a new student, and especially if you're still exploring. We want to get to know you, your interests, what you like, help you think through, what your interests, what you should be thinking through. So number one, we like to get to know you early on, so that we can help you on the discovery path, not
Right.
just the job search, not just the job search skills. Secondly, we think career management is one of those career competencies. And career management really, it means that you're taking charge of your career plans. That starts early on with that discovery phase. So I mentioned the CardinalNet page. I want to point you to another tool there. We do have a 4-year checklist that will be listed on that Get Career Ready page. It's going to be listed there as career management plan. We've broken down what some of the simple tasks that we would like for you to take on each year to make sure that you are managing your career plan. And in that, you'll see it starts, right away in your first year. Listening in on this webinar is one way that you are advancing your career management plan. But that also includes, signing up and staying active on Handshake, developing your first resume and updating it every time you have a new experience. Perhaps it could include for you meeting with a member of the career development team to just talk through what are your goals, aspirations, or interests. So it begins with small steps that you build on so that by your junior year or your sophomore year, if you're exploring internships at that point, you're ready to get started. You're ready to meet employers, and you didn't just get started the week before a career fair.
Right.
Would you add anything, Barbara, Margaret?
I would, because I think that one of the nice things that each one of you have brought up are sort of what I call the three things. It's the support and guidance so that students feel confident in whatever their next step is. Then I think the other piece too is sort of the resources. And then the last one I would sort of emphasize is the connections, the employer connections that we have in career development for both internships and full-time positions. And we are sort of working daily to connect with employers and posting positions, approving positions and Handshake. And so what we can do is really help you sort of understand who are some of those employers. But we're going to have we have different types of events where we have employers on webinars. There may be companies that you've never heard about, but being part of sort of the employer events that we have can really open up the world to different types of employers you may not have ever even considered. And so really a lot of employers tend to look at the career development or the career services office at a college as sort of the gateway. And so that's really how we work together with employers, is to really help you learn about those opportunities and help you connect to different opportunities and employers. So next question.
So I know this might be a good question for Barb, but you all have kind of mentioned internships. Maybe if you want to give kind of a brief overview, what is it and why might a student want to be considering it during their time at North Central?
Right. So this is very near and dear to my heart. So really an internship is really sort of a short-term sort of opportunity where you're working in a professional setting where you have learning goals, things you really want to learn at the internship. And you're also being supervised by a professional at that site. You can take it for credit or non-credit, but internships are really amazing because they allow you to test drive what you like and don't like, because it's important to figure out what you don't like, as well as what you do like. They also allow you to build your professional network and then really help you gain the experience that's going to set you apart and make you a really competitive candidate. But just like I do fun facts, like there's really 3 things that we know about internships, how they can really help you. So we know that students who intern at some point during their college career are going to find a job quicker. They're going to receive more job offers, and they will earn more money in their first position out of college. So really an internship is a win-win for students, because what we often hear from students is that employers want individuals with experience, and an internship is a way to have that type of experience and then just go really grow sort of personally and professionally.
So kind of adding on to that and broadening up the question of skills and experiences, but especially given that there's so many ways for students to get involved on campus and have experiences, whether professional or just for hobbies. But what kind of skills and experiences are important for getting a job after college, and maybe any advice for choosing those, selecting those skills and experiences?
I'm happy to start off on this one because I think it goes back to some of the stuff that we've already talked about with the career competencies and career readiness. When you look at the definition of career readiness, it's the demonstration of skills that indicate that a student is ready to transition from college to career. And those competencies include, those skills again that everyone is looking for. So we're looking at specifically when you go into that Get Career Ready page, you're going to see it's communication. No surprises, right? That it's oral and written communication, it's problem solving and critical thinking, it's global and intercultural fluency, work ethic and professionalism, and a couple more. So these are, you are definitely wanting to look at opportunities to connect on campus to learn what those skills are, have opportunities to practice or develop those skills, and then gain potentially some leadership positions where you can, fully demonstrate them as either your strength. So we, Barb, I know Barb will smile when I say this, but we call that know, grow, and show, right? So we
Right.
want you to know what these skills are. We want you to have opportunities to grow these skills, and then we want you to be able to show them up as strengths and put them in be able to talk about them in an interview, in your resume, and be able to make the connection between where you learned it and how you're able to apply it. So know,
Right.
grow, and show those career readiness skills. We know that the experience at North Central College is full of opportunities for students to be able to know, grow, and show these skills. That means getting involved with student organizations, whether it's for a hobby or an interest, or a student organization that is a part of your professional industry. So for example, if you're interested in anime or dance, right, joining those organizations because they are a hobby or an interest and it demonstrates your well-roundedness. Perhaps you're deciding to organize events for them. That's a skill. Perhaps you're deciding to take on a leadership position. Leadership and teamwork are 2 of the top skills that employers are looking for. So we strongly encourage getting involved to be able to know, grow, and show those career readiness competencies. Beyond student organization involvement, other areas that we know employers look at in your resume for demonstration that you've developed these skills are athletics, right? Definitely you've been working on some work ethic and teamwork through athletics. Research is a fantastic way to potentially demonstrate that you have skills with with data or technology or even problem solving, right? And of course, opportunities in the classroom as well. Group work, teamwork, presentations, all those things. What would you add, Barb?
Well, I think that you did a really great job on describing that. And I think that what I would add is that what we see in our office is that sometimes it's really hard for students to see the value in all of their experiences, that they may downplay certain things, whether or not it's a part-time job or their study abroad experience. And what I like about what Heidi said is all experience matters. And what we can do is really help you break down those experiences and really be able to demonstrate in your resume, in an interview, how to talk about all of those skills, because that can be a really challenging thing to do. So that's one of the things I think that our office does really well, is help you see all of those opportunities and be able to showcase your skills and your strengths.
Can I ask a quick question? Because I think that, Catherine, I think that you're going to have a really neat perspective on this as a career peer advisor. Catherine, as we all know, reviews a lot of resumes in her role as career peer advisor. And, you know, Barb and I have talked about, you know, the experience part of it, but how have you seen students show their skills through student organization involvement on their resume? What does that look like when you're taking a look at resumes? How are students listing that?
When I look at student involvement positions, I've seen everything from volunteering at, organizations on campus and beyond. I also see a lot of athletic experiences as well as clubs and other organizations on campus. So again, like going back to what you said, highlighting leadership roles, were you captain of your team, co-captain, co-president, president, as well as like planning events, managing social media. There's a lot of different roles that you can take on being a part of an organization. There's also skills you can learn, such as like teamwork, communication, both written and oral. So just working with students to highlight those experiences that they've had and what they can pull from it, which usually is a lot. Like you can learn a lot from being, part of even just one organization or volunteering regularly with another organization. I feel like a little goes a long way on that, and I like helping students highlight what they can do with what they have done and what that's taught them.
We might be coming up on the 30-minute mark soon, so maybe we have time for one or two more questions, depending on how much we go into it.
I think we're right at 12:31.
Well, I have one more kind of overarching question for my list, so this might be perfect. But so as we know, there are certain career fields that are hiring a lot right now. How much should that sway a student in deciding on their major and or their future career goals?
Barb, what do you think?
Well, I would say that selecting a major or pursuing something because it's hot or maybe, in demand right now, I can certainly understand that. But one of the things you might want to remember is that something that's hot now may not necessarily be hot when you graduate. So I think that's really important to understand that the job market fluctuates. Because lots of things happen with the economy. But having said that, it is important to really pay attention to trends and industries that are sort of on the rise and industries that have maybe sort of a little bit on the or a lot on the decline. And so what I would encourage you to do is sort of to look at that. You can look at the Department of Labor and sort of their expected growth of an industry or a career, and that if you are interested in one of those careers that may sort of be on the decline, we can certainly work with you on that. But really, I would encourage you to pursue what you're interested in, because you're more likely to be engaged in the academic work. You're going to enjoy it. And sort of what we know is that when people are pursuing a career that they really enjoy, they're happier. They enjoy their work. So, but I know, Heidi, you had a really great way, you had some great
Well,
ideas about this.
I wanted to, I know that we're coming up on the end, so I want to close it out with an invitation to students to come and talk to us about your career interests. Because Barb is absolutely right. If you pursue a career for your passion or your interest, you're going to be much more satisfied with your job. You're going to be you're going to be much better at your job. You're going to do a lot better. But there are, as Barb mentioned, there is a need to pay attention to fluctuation and trends. So it's going to be important for you to have conversations with your faculty, with us, with your mentors or advisors about what's happening with your field, with your interests, and appropriately plan for that. If this is your passion, if this is your area of interest, let's figure out a plan to work hard and make you competitive for those roles. So that you can withstand any fluctuations in that market. We've got to be smart and stay on top of any market trends and changes. So talking it through and making a plan is going to be incredibly important, especially in today's times. So I want to close it out with an invitation for you to meet with us and talk through what that plan is. And let's, if you don't have a plan yet, let's help you put something together. Again, I want to underscore, get connected on Handshake if you haven't already, noctrl.joinhandshake.com. Activate your profile. Fill it out as completely as possible. Begin to explore careers and jobs there. I like to tell new students in particular that the biggest benefit for new students is that you can begin to explore your peers and upper class students as well. You can take a look at who else has chosen your major on campus. What kinds of student organizations have they been involved with? They might have even listed their internships as well, so that might be a great connection for you. And you can also reach out and message other students through Handshake as well, even if they're not at North Central College, but perhaps they're at an industry or at an organization that you're interested in as well. So please get connected on Handshake. Explore our CardinalNet page for the resources that I mentioned today, the Get Career Ready, your career management plan, and the definitions of career readiness and career competencies. And then lastly, we're all here for you as well, and wanted to underscore Barbara's message that we want to welcome you and we'll be here to support you.